A few years ago, the YouTuber Magby beat Pokemon Platinum using only baby Pokemon. Oh my god. I was 15 when that video came out. Anyway, that video was always one of his more interesting challenges to me. If you don't know me, I stream Nuzlocke on Twitch, and the first one I ever completed on stream was a Pokemon Y Trash Lock, and even now I'm streaming a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Garbage Green, another Trash Lock. Beating the normally piss-easy vanilla Pokemon games with unorthodox Pokemon has always been interesting to me, so I wanted to put my own spin on MDB's challenge, applying the skills I've learned from Nuzlocking and my own playstyle. For my starter, I replaced Turtwig with Munchlax so that I can start with a baby Pokemon. MDB started with Budew, which you can normally catch before work anyway, and didn't even use Munchlax in his run because of how honey trees work, but fuck that, I want to use the little guy, just look at him. So while I catch a Budew and make my way to the first gym, let's quickly go over the rules for this challenge. In battle, I can only use baby Pokemon. I'm using the listing definition on Bulbapedia, so that means I have access to Riolu, Azuro, Mantyke, Munchlax, Bonsly, Budew, Elekid, Magby, Cleffa, Togepi, Happiny, Mime Jr, and Chingling. If I need another Pokemon to use HMs outside of battle, that's fine. I can't use items in battle other than Pokeballs, I have to play on set mode, and I'm using rare candies to level for 2 reasons. 1, I don't want to grind, and it means I won't gain EVs on all my Pokemon throughout the run, making it harder in the long term, while still leaving full EV training as an option if I think I need it. Now that the rules are set, it's time to go get the first bat. I ran it up with both Pokemon at level 14, and despite Granados' headbutt doing a lot of damage, Mega Drain does more. Granados never flinches or crits, so Rourke's Potion is futile, and it's a complete sweep. Now probably seems like a good time to establish when we're going to be getting our other baby Pokemon. I already caught Budew on Route 204, and the next one we're picking up is Chingling on Route 211 and Cleffa and Mount Coronet. Cynthia gives me the egg for Togepi in Eterna City, which brings us up to 5. I can catch Meryl on Route 212, which I can breed for Azuro later, Pichu in the Trophy Garden on the same route. I can get Chansey on Route 209, which can also be bred for a baby Pokemon, and then I don't get anything till I have access to Surf. Once I have Surf, I can catch Magmar, Mr. Mime, and Sudowoodo, which can all be bred for baby Pokemon. Then Riley gives me a Riolu egg, and we get nothing else until after the Distortion World. Then I can catch Elekid just before Volkner, and Mantyke on my way to the Elite Four. 14 options, but we're still stuck with Munchlax and Budew for now, so let's go fight Mars. I went in with level 18 on both, and after Toxic Poison and a couple Bite Flinches, Munchlax unfortunately didn't have enough HP to chip Purugly after taking down Zubat, but thanks to some genuinely wild Paralysis luck off of Stun and 2 Growth Boosts, Mega Drain takes it down. I made my way north, and after genuinely 10 or 15 minutes searching on speed up, caught a Chingling and then Cleffa a few minutes later. We have a little bit of a boss rush now before I can catch any other Pokemon, so let's jump straight into it with Gardenia. I decided to not really level any of my Pokemon before going in, and this was a terrible idea. Munchlax took down Turtwig with mostly no issues, thanks to Cleffa Encoring into Reflect, but then it lost to Cherim by literally 1 HP. And Roserade washed the rest of my team. Budew got fully paralyzed twice, so I couldn't even get a Stun Spore off, and Chingling only managed to get in 1 hit, and Cleffa obviously stood no chance. I came back with everyone at level 24 and tried the same strategy, but Munchlax proceeded to pull with Metronome, Tail Whip, Miracle Eye, Grudge, Tickle, Mudsport, Recover, Howl, Bubble, and on the very last Metronome, Self-Destruct. Cherim then drained most of Chingling's HP with Leech Seed, and I lost to Roserade again. That was comically bad Metronome luck. I'm just gonna try again. Munchlax is still not really locked in with the Metronome rolls, but eventually does do enough damage for Return to Kill. Grass Knot and Leech Seed is an awful combo for a slow, heavy, high HP Mon, but Munchlax thankfully has enough HP to get through and just go down to Roserade. Budew treats a Stun Spore with its bigger cousin, and I let it go down and get a free switch into Chingling, who one-shots Roserade with a Confusion crit to get me the second badge. As for Jupiter, I went in without leveling after Gardenia. I just fought all the grunts, and Chingling was able to outspeed and one-shot Zubat with Confusion. I let it go down to Skuntank and sent in Budew to paralyze it, and then Munchlax was able to take it down with a few returns thanks to some good paralysis luck. Before I move on to Fantina, Cynthia gives me a Togepi egg. And take it in now, because you won't be seeing much more of him in the future. My first attempt at Fantina is barely even worth talking about. I paralyzed Duskull and did some damage with Budew, and after using Encore to force it into Future Sight with Togepi, I used 16 Metronomes and couldn't even kill her first Pokemon. With some actually decent Metronome luck though, this can be a solid lead. But I can already tell I'm going to need to brute force her other 2 Pokemon. A few tries later at level 30, and after a bunch of dud Metronome turns, Togepi hits Cycle Cut into U-turn, giving me the free switch I need to finish Duskull with Budew. Stun Spore on Haunter lets Budew go down, giving me a free switch into Chingling, who just takes the kill with Confusion, and I then proceeded to spend the next 6 minutes dealing with Mismagius. I even put it to sleep and used Wish with Togepi to heal Munchlax, and eventually hit a Hydro Pump, which put Mismagius in the red, with only one Metronome left, but she used a Super Potion and Metronome pulled Wrap. Munchlax had Metronome up a Swords Dance a few turns before, so a physical neutral move at any point would have been a win. This is super doable. Finally, on my 10th try, Budew basically swept. The footage of it taking down Duskull and Haunter is sped up, but I made it to Mismagius with all 5 Pokemon alive for the first time. Then Budew survived on 8 HP, snapped out of confusion, hit Stun Spore, and then almost took down Mismagius by itself. It eventually went down to a self-hit, but Chingling survived Shadow Ball on 3 HP and cleaned up the fight to get me the 3rd badge. Final fight to cap off the early game boss rush is the rival outside Hearthome, but it's pretty much a joke. The only issue I had was one-shotting Staravia with Return through Intimidate, but once Munchlax was high enough level for that, the fight was free. Chingling 1v1s Monferno, Budew one-shots Weasel, and Munchlax one-shots Roselia. Now that I've got some travel time until the next gym and my next Pokemon, I gotta say, I think Maylene is gonna be even more brutal than Fantina. Chingling is gonna have to really carry us through that fight, but I have no idea if it can beat Lucario without being crazy overleveled, which I'd like to avoid. During all this travel, I caught a Chansey so I could breed it later for a Happiny. Once I made it to Veilstone, I went all the way down in the round to Route 212 so I could catch Pichu in the Trophy Garden. I also caught a male and female Marill. First try Maylene and everyone is level 38, which I thought going in wouldn't be high enough. A crit gets me through Meta-type, but Chingling takes a ton of damage fighting Machoke from Rock Tomb and Strength. After sacrificing Cleffa to Lucario, I try to Thunder Wave it with Pichu, but it just goes down to Force Bomb. Thankfully Static activates, so I go unpunished, and I'm prepared to throw my whole team at her after Budew does basically no damage, but thanks to a Confusion self-hit, Chingling puts it in the red. I went to Munchlax, fully expecting her to potion and finish me off, but she just doesn't, and Return kills. I did not expect that to be a first try, but that Static proc 100% bailed me out. Only a few more boss fights for my hands on a ton more Pokemon, including another rival fight. I thought Pichu would be a free lead, but it almost dies to Quick Attack from full HP, meaning it can't do anything to Weasel. Budew handles it fine though and goes down in one hit to Monferno. Chingling and Munchlax clean up and get me through, but I'm now realizing that even with Riolu, Snorlax might be a big problem. And probably in for an even after too. But that's a later problem. Let's go fight Crash Awake. First try Awaken, Pichu is slower than Mega Gyarados and gets one shot by Bite. Oh. 2 levels higher and it's the same story. At level 43, we're faster and don't even one shot, but it lives on what HP it takes to kill. Pichu, you are a Pokemon of all time. Pichu's job is done now though, and it's Budew's time to shine. After a Stun Spore, he's still faster, even with 2 speed drops, and Mega Drain gets a crit that I really hope didn't matter. Budew is unfortunately slower than Floatzel and goes down in 1 Ice Fang, but Munchlax is able to slam it down with returns for an easy first try. I guess technically third, but I didn't even play out the attempts where Pichu was slower than Gyarados. Now we've got a bit of downtime before the next boss fight, which is the first fight against Cyrus. This gets me Surf, and Surf gets me Pokemon. I can catch Magmar, Fuego Ironworks, Sudowoodo on Route 223, and Mr. Mime on Route 218. I can breed all 3 of those to get babies, and then I can use Incenses locked behind Surf to get Azuro and Happiny. I don't expect Azuro to do much, but Happiny is the Walmart version of one of the most broken Pokemon in the entire series, so I'm super looking forward to getting to use it. And after this big influx of Pokemon, Chingling, Togepi, and Cleffa will probably end up box warming for most of the run, but the services they provided early game, except for Cleffa, will not be forgotten. First fight for the box expands, Cyrus 1. Munchlax easily handles Sneasel, Budew paralyzes Golbat to set up a kill for Chingling, but Confusion is a 3-hit KO, and it goes down to 2 bites. Cyrus uses a Hyper Potion as Pichu goes for the kill, and Golbat eventually goes down with Pichu at full HP. Murkrow just one-shots it with Feint Attack. Munchlax is thankfully able to hang on and handle it, but I can't get Elekid until after the Distortion World, so Honchkrow could be an issue, even with Bonsly. But with that victory, I have Surf, so it's time to collect some Pokemon. First is a male and female Magmar, then all the way south for Sudowoodo. After picking up the incenses I need and a couple TMs, I go and catch a male and female Mr. Mime. Now that I have all the Pokemon I need, it's breeding time. There's not much to say about this part. I just spent an hour in Salacian Town hatching Magby, Bonsly, Happiny, Mime Jr, and Azuro in that order. Now that we have the guys in, let's go wrap up the mid-game. First showing for the upgraded team is against my rival with his team at full power for the first time. Bonsly nails 2 rock slides through double team to take down Staraptor, and Floatzel still can't really touch grass type, so it's an easy kill for Budew with Giga Drain. Or it would be if my rival didn't switch to Heracross. Mime Jr. is slower and folds like paper, so I send in Magby, who takes a massive chunk of its HP but goes down, so it's on Munchlax to clean up. Munchlax chunks Infernape's HP and Chingling cleans up, then Budew is able to take down Floatzel after it comes back in, but I'm in a terrible spot against Roserade. I thought Toxic Spike sealed my fate, but because of Stun Spore, Munchlax just outspeeds and takes the kill. Outspeeding or paralyzing that Heracross is going to be mandatory, or it's going to slice through my kindergarten class of a team like butter in the final fight. A quick detour to Iron Island gets me the Strength HM, and after a handful of fights, a Riolu. I taught it Drain Punch since I might want to save Brick Break for later, so let's go fight Byron. It's an expected first try. Magby one-shots Magneton and Steelix with Flamethrower, and Riolu oh, that is not a lot of damage from Drain Punch. It's fine. Riolu hung on for Metal Burst and finished it with Reversal. I knew keeping that move was a good idea. It's kind of funny that if Drain Punch rolled slightly higher? What the fuck did I just say? It's kind of funny that if Drain Punch had rolled slightly higher, Riolu could have gone down to Metal Burst and it probably would have been possible for me to lose. Also, fun fact, in my Pachirisu challenge from 2023, I actually beat Byron, but it was a really lucky attempt, and I decided it would be better content if I lost and had to I think I decided it would be better content if I lost and had to grind more, so I would face more adversity. I don't know if I mentioned that in that video. While I take care of Team Galactic and make my way to the next gym, I'm wondering what the next wall is going to be. Every major fight since Fantina has been a first try, some closer than others, but I haven't faced real adversity for 3 gyms at this point. My gut says Candace could be annoying, but Magby will probably sweep if it's not too underleveled, so the next hard fight is probably the final Cyrus fight. And that'll likely be it until the final rival fight in Elite Four. The champion is probably going to be brutal though. Her whole team just has such high stats compared to mine. Taking our first shot at Candace, and I misplayed hard. Riolu takes Sneasel down fine, but instead of Vein Attack while Frostland spams double team, I wasted a turn with Sunny Day. Bonsly was able to clean up, but Piloswine proceeded to cleave through the rest of my team. Mime Jr. barely took it down, but I had no way of killing a Abomasnow at that point. On the run back, I decided to actually use Bonsly for Frostlass, sucker punching it into red HP before going down and setting a flamethrower on the potion turn. Shadow Ball thankfully doesn't crit Magby, so a second one kills. I go Budew and do a massive amount of damage to Piloswine with Choice Specs Giga Drain, but go down to 2 Stone Edges. Doesn't really matter at this point though, since Magby outspeeds Piloswine and finishes with Flamethrower for outspeeding a one-shot Abomasnow to get me the 7th badge. So while I clear out the Veilstone building, Cyrus looks terrifying. Both the Spear Pillar tag battle and final Cyrus fight are higher level than most of my team right now, but I'm hoping for most of these fights will catch up, so I don't have to canny much. I'm probably not beating Cyrus at level 48 or even 50 though. His Pokemon all have a way higher stats than mine. The second fight with Crobat and Honchkrow will be a good indicator for how screwed I am on the final one, I think. Speaking of the second Cyrus fight, it goes better than I thought, but is still worrying. Riolu barely hangs on from Ice Punch, and Mime Jr. is slower than Crobat and only 2-hit KOs at the Psychic. Bonsly is able to finish Crobat and barely 1v1 Honchkrow, but I'm not feeling optimistic about the Distortion World after that. I know it's possible, but I'm probably gonna have to be a much higher level than I want. I'm made even more pessimistic by Saturn's Toxicroak almost sweeping my team. I ended up winning at level 50, but this is a lot of bad signs in a row. I guess while I clown Mount Coronet, let's talk strategy. For the tag battle at the top of the mountain, I'm just gonna hope my rival carries me and level as needed. As for Cyrus, I have no idea how that's gonna go. I probably will just straight up never win until Riolu outspeeds Weavile and Pichu outspeeds and kills Gyarados, which will probably require a ton of leveling, especially since Riolu has a sassy nature. I'll also need to be able to one-shot Houndoom because I don't think Bonsly is taking a Dark Pulse. Maybe I can bring Happiny out for that. Bonsly should be able to handle Honchkrow if it's at a decent level, and I'll probably need Mime Jr. to outspeed Crobat as well. This is by far going to be the hardest fight of the run so far, especially because I'll be limited to 5 Pokemon due to HM requirements to reach the top of the mountain. The tag battle goes pretty well, with Magby torching Mars' Bronzor and Bonsly staying on the field long enough to take out both Purugly and Mars' Golbat. Barry, for some reason, has his Torterra team, even though he had Infernape on the previous fights, but I'm not complaining because Rapidash and Floatzel also put in crazy work to take down Jupiter's side of the field. First try at Cyrus, and I didn't even bother taking down Houndoom. Happiny doesn't stand a chance because of Thunderfang, so stalling it is not an option at this level. Bonsly could have taken it down if it wasn't for a burr. Let's try at 60. First try at level 60, and Houndoom attacks turn 1 instead of clean Will-O-Wisp, doing 47% of Happiny's HP, which would break Substitute, meaning this stall strat straight up doesn't work. Oh, and it also paralyzed and flinched for good measure. Cyrus has no other special attackers, so I either have to leave the Distortion World, come back with Munchlax, or we're using 4 Pokemon for this fight. New strategy! Hope Riolu clutches up. Heartbreakingly, it is slower than Houndoom and just barely does an OHKO with Drain Punch, but that prompts Cyrus to use a full restore, and after a Will-O-Wisp, it goes down. I sacrifice Happiny to Crobat to get into Mime Jr, who hangs on from Cross Poison in the yellow and blasts Crobat with a Psychic. Bonsly takes a lot less from Honchkrow Psychic than I expected, and actually one-shots with Rock Slide. That brings in Gyarados though, and after 2 Sucker Punches to chip it, Pichu is actually faster and finishes it off with Thunderbolt. I did not expect that at level 60. I let it go down to Weavile, and it's all on Riolu's shoulders now. That Will-O-Wisp from Houndoom ate Riolu's Lumberry, so if Ice Punch freezes, it's all over. But Riolu holds and reversal kills Weavile, winning me the battle on my 3rd try. That went so much better than I thought it would. And with that victory, I can pick up my last 2 Pokemon. Once Route 222 is open, I can go catch 2 Electabuzz, which I can then breed for an Elekid. I also go get a Mantyke on Route 223. Volkner time! Magby is able to take down Jolteon with 2 Flamethrowers thanks to a 95% accurate Charge Beam miss, which brings in Electivire. Bonsly eats up Thunder Punches and is able to take it down with Rock Slide, and deals half to Raichu with a Sucker Punch. I tried Copycat strats with Happiny to hit a Focus Blast, but it doesn't do much, and Budew finishes it instead. Luxray comes in last, and thanks to a Fire Fang miss, Budew is able to Stun Spore, but goes down to Ice Fang before getting a Giga Drain off. Mime Jr would definitely go down to 1 Crunch, but a full Para lets it take the kill with 2 Psychics for an easy first try, and the 8th badge. Okay, Victory Road time. I can pick up a handful of useful items here, like Max Revives and some good TMs. I am most interested in the leftovers, but they're unfortunately post-game. The Elite Four team I'm thinking of is Riolu, Mantyke, Magby, Bonsly, Mime Jr, and Budew. I can see Munchlax, Happiny, or Elekid also working though. I'll beat my rival first, then I'll actually do final preparations and movesets, and plan the final fights. For the final rival fight, Elekid makes its debut by one-shotting Staraptor and bringing in Snorlax. Low Kick does really solid damage, so Riolu is able to easily finish it with Drain Punch and bring in Infernape. Mantyke leaves its mark in its first fight, easily taking out my rival starter and then chunking Heracross with Wing Attack. Mime Jr hangs on from Night Slash and takes it out with Psychic, baiting an Aqua Jet from Floatzel. Ice Fang means Budew can't 1v1 like in the past, but thanks to a Poison Point and Giga Drain, we go down on the same turn. Chingling comes back onto the scene for the first time in a while to one-shot Roserade with Psychic, and the gate to the league is open. With all the preparation done, here's the first team I'm going in with, all leveled to 70. Let's do this. Aaron is pretty simple. Magby Choice Specs Flamethrower torches Yama, Vespiquen, Heracross, and Scizor. Bonsly's got a pretty easy 1v1 with Drapion, eating soft X Scissors and doing a lot more damage than I expected with Dig. After a full restore, Bonsly takes the kill and I move on. Bertha is equally easy, with Budew taking down Whiscash with Giga Drain to start us off. A quick Bonsly sacrifice gets me into Mantyke, who lives Thunderfang thanks to a Walk-On Berry and one-shots Gliscor with Ice Beam. Bertha then just hands me Golem and Rhyperior, who both go down to Surf, and finally Hippowdon, who Mantyke hits a fat Pumpy-on to secure the win. I think Flint is going to be where the easy fights stop. My plan is just to sweep the Specs Mantine, but if he's slower than Infernape, that is not going to happen. Maybe Mime Jr can clutch up. Okay, so Flint is off to a horrible start. Mantyke is slower than Houndoom, and Mime Jr gets outsped and nuked by Flare Blitz. Magby is somehow faster and crits Flamethrower, so it's not quite over yet, but I totally forgot Flareon has Flash Fire, so a boosted Overheat nearly sends Magby to another dimension, and it goes down to Quick Attack the next turn. Mantyke is able to pick up the kill, and I don't feel confident that it can kill Magmortar, so it's out to Munchlax. He just charges up a Solar Beam for some reason, and Return almost kills, but a Citrus Berry takes Flint's Ace out of full restore range, so it goes down the next turn. Rapidash also just charges a Solar Beam, so Munchlax puts it into red HP as well. But because of that Solar Beam charge, Flint can't use a full restore, and the horse goes down. Only 2 fights left. I expected Flint to be a disaster, so I'm happy it was a first try. I don't expect Lucian or Cynthia to go very smoothly though. First try at Lucian, and Mr. Mime starts with Light Screen, which is perfect. I lock it in with Encore, and after doing some damage with Shadow Ball, set up a substitute. I take the kill with Sub Up, but Espeon breaks it with a Shadow Ball of its own, and mine does very little in return. Glade almost one-shots Mr. Mime with Stone Edge, and Shadow Ball doesn't even do half, so I'm screwed. Glade is in position to sweep the rest of my team. Mantyke gave me a little hope when it dodged Stone Edge and hit a Hydro Pump, but it didn't do enough. Bonsly actually ended up taking it out with Dig into Sucker Punch because Blade used Stone Edge, and Magby nails a Fire Blast to take out Bronzong. It unfortunately misses its next Fire Blast and goes down to Energy Ball, but Munchlax hangs on from Focus Blast and takes down Alakazam with Return to get me through the Elite Four. Going into the champion fight, I'm a little worried about it. My main concern is that this team is just too slow to beat Garchomp, but there's only one way to find out for sure. Cynthia leads Spiritomb and I lead Munchlax. Munchlax's only attacking move this entire Elite Four has been Return, but I used a Heart Scale to reteach it Odor Sleuth, which, if you don't know, lets normal type moves hit ghosts. Munchlax wins the 1v1 despite 2 Dark Pulse flinches and goes down to Lucario. Magby outspeeds and one-shots with Fire Blast, and Budew takes down Milotic with Choice Specs Grass Knot. This is going really well, but now I have bad news. I forgot to use a Leppa Berry on Bonsly's Sucker Punch, meaning I can't kill Togepi. Mantyke hangs on and finishes it, but even though it dodges Garchomp's first Dragon Rush, Ice Beam doesn't kill, and just like that, we have our first loss in the Pokemon League. I don't even think I need to level, but I'm gonna go to 72, just in case Rock Slide into Sucker Punch doesn't kill Togepi. After 7 tries at level 72, this strat was looking super inconsistent, so I decided to try 75. After several attempts at 75, I decided the best course of action was to leave the league and go get a Quick Claw. Then, level Bonsly until it can one-shot Togepi and stop trying to predict the full Restore AI that I don't understand. I decided to give the fight one last try at 75 first though. And I actually correctly predicted the full Restore AI, and after Bonsly crit a Sucker Punch on Garchomp, then lived on 5 HP to hit another, thought this might finally be the one. I'll let Past Me turn on their mic for the first time in this entire recording process though, and take it from here. I just set up my microphone on OBS for this moment. I don't even know if I'm on the right microphone. I am. I've been recording this entire video with no mic, no game audio. This could be the... but I did not actually expect to get through Togekiss. Oh my god! No fucking way! Oh my god, it's beat. Holy shit. I mean, yeah, I'm not faster, but I have so much special defense it can't kill me in one hit. There's no fucking way. There's no way. Oh my god. Insane. Right as I was about to give up and go get a Quick Claw. Right as I was about to give up and just power level until I could one-shot. Holy shit. There you have it. I beat Pokemon Platinum with only baby Pokemon. Not as a Nuzlocke, but using the skills and game knowledge I've learned from doing Nuzlockes for the past 2 years. This was a really fun run. Some parts were easier than I expected, like Maylene, and others were maybe a little harder than I expected. I didn't expect Fantina to take so many tries, but it only really hit me how limited my options were once I actually got there. Pokemon Platinum is a great game, and I'm glad I did this run. Like I said in the beginning, this video was inspired by Madrybread's run of the same challenge a few years ago, so please go check out his video. It's one of my favorites of his, and I think he does some really cool stuff in his weekly challenge videos. While you're down in the description clicking that link, go click all the Twitch links to the people I named Pokemon after in this video. They're some of the coolest people in the Nuzlocking scene, and I think they all deserve some love. My Twitch link is down there too. I stream Nuzlocks, and I'm sometimes good at it. Consider joining my Discord as well, so you can get pinged when I'm live or upload a new video. And one last thing, I'm working on a Pokemon Omega Ruby difficulty hack, Road Ruby, and there's a Discord link for that in the description too. That's all the promo I have for this outro, so please just subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. It helps a ton and is appreciated more than you know. Not sure what my next video is going to be, but I look forward to making it. I'll see you all next time.